Hi there, it's Lee from coloringqueen.net, and today I've got one of my favourite topics, which is the Wizard of Oz. I adore the Wizard of Oz. It's like Alice in Wonderland to me. It's just true reminds me of my childhood, and I just love the Wizard of Oz. So when I seen that the Wizard of Oz was coming out in a colouring book, and there's a few coming out this year, of course I had to get it, and I was straight down to the shop as soon as I seen it come out. Now this one, The Wizard of Oz, is illustrated by Nikki Wright, and you might already know that name from some of my other reviews on Alice in Wonderland. She also did an Alice in Wonderland book, the illustrations for it, and now they've followed up with The Wizard of Oz. And if you are a Wizard of Oz fan like me, please note that there is a beautiful Wizard of Oz book coming out in the next month or so, and I of course will be getting it, and I can't wait to show it to you. So this one is illustrated by Australian artist Nikki Wright. It's 24.5 centimetres by about 24.5 centimetres, so a nice square. It's got a thick spine on it and a lovely front and back cover that's already been coloured in. There's nothing to colour in here, okay, but it is very, very pretty. So we've got a very plain title page, and then we've got this lovely colour illustration, and it is the colour illustration from the front of the book, which is just beautiful. Very, very cutesy. I love it. I love seeing the Tin Man and the tiger, and yeah, I love the Wizard of Oz. Now this book is different from other colouring books, and if you've already seen my review on the Alice in Wonderland by Nikki Wright, you'll immediately understand what I mean, because this is what I would call a keepsake colouring book. We have colouring books, and I sort of put the sweary colouring books into this category, where they're sort of really disposable. You colour it in, you feel a bit better, and then you might just, throw it away, or you might just put it away in the cupboard. Then we have colouring books that are real works of art, and they're just beautiful, and they take us hours and hours to complete, and we love them. And in those colouring books I would sort of put the Joanna Basford colouring books and Dario Song colouring books into that category, because they're just really beautiful art pieces. And then we have colouring books like this one, which I would class as an heirloom type book or a keepsake book, because it has a lovely story to it, and then you add your beautiful colouring and it turns into this most beautiful book on its own, something that you can show to your children or grandchildren, and just enjoy forever. So it's got the story in it, and you'll see the table of contents there, and on each page there are things for you to colour in, and that's what I mean. This is a keepsake book because you can enjoy and share that story with people. So I've got some beautiful illustrations over here, and they go over to the next page, and this lovely 2-page illustration. Now the illustrations are of course double-sided. They're in the storybook format, which is very popular with most colouring books unless they're an artist edition. The paper is good. It's not as thin as colouring books from, say, Create Space from Amazon, but it's not very thick at all. I would test out your markers on this title page and see if they're going to bleed through or not, because different products have a different effect on the paper. And just bear in mind that colouring books aren't really designed for wet media, so things like watercolours, ink tints, Tombow markers, Copics, Sharpies, Bics, etc. They're all sort of wet media, and colouring books are generally designed for pencils or crayons, and the paper is thin. So if you're using wet media, usually you use artist paper or watercolour paper. So just bear that in mind, and always put a piece of card behind it so that you don't damage the picture on the other side. So we've got some beautiful illustrations here, and the lovely shoes. Of course they're going to be red. If you're a true Wizard of Oz fan, they're going to be red. I love this cute little illustration over here. Isn't that cute? And we've got the lovely yellow brick road. Man of Straw. And I like the way the illustrations are all combined with the story, but some people may not, you know. So it's always, you know, different colouring books for different people, and that's why it's so great that we have so many different artists and so many different styles, that there's something out there for everyone. If you wanted to keep the storybook intact, you could just photocopy some of these images, as long as they're for your personal use, and colour the photocopies in, and you know, also obviously colour the ones in the book as well. I think this would make a fantastic gift for people with children, you know, and you could spend so long colouring it in, and perhaps leave some of the pictures for them to colour in as a family together. There we have it. That's The Wizard of Oz. It's a lovely storybook. It's what I'd class as a keepsake book. I hope you enjoyed having a flip through of it with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. All the best and happy colouring.